is it పేర్లో అలాగా ఓ మాస్టర్ అని ఎందుకంటాము? వై డు వి నాట్ సే ఓ లార్డ్ అని, ఓ లార్డ్ ఆర్ ఓ గాడ్ అని? అండ్ ఆల్సో మన సైడ్ మన లిటరేచర్ లో మాస్టర్స్ అందరూ ఈవెన్ వి రిఫర్ టు గాడ్ యాజ్ మాస్టర్ కదా. అది why do we call master and not God?
Yeah. See, I don't know if you have seen Passion of Christ movies, Uchava. Even Jesus was addressed as master in the original Hebrew tradition. Actually ga master అన్న వర్డ్ అక్కడి నుంచే కాయిన్ అయింది మన సిస్టంలో కూడా. ఓకే సరే. సో అసలు మాస్టర్ అంటే ఇట్స్ ఎ ప్రిన్సిపల్ ప్లస్ గాడ్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకి హ్యూమన్ కండిషన్, ఇప్పుడు స్పిరిచువల్ గ్రోత్ అంటే హౌ వుడ్ ద గాడ్ నో వాట్ ఈజ్ స్పిరిచువల్ గ్రోత్? గాడ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఏ సెన్సియంట్ బీయింగ్. అంటే గాడ్కి కాన్షియస్నెస్ లేదు, మైండ్ లేదు. సో హౌ డస్ గాడ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ యువర్ హ్యూమన్ సిచ్యువేషన్? సో వీ నీడ్ ఎ వయా మీడియం టు అండర్స్టాండ్ దట్ హ్యూమన్ సిచ్యువేషన్. So if my prayers have to be answered, you have to have a human mind to understand that prayer.
No, yeah. So I just want to be clear, sorry. I understand actually the role of the master.
No, role of the master, master also plays the role of the God until his human existence is present. Otherwise,
so you are trying to answer why do we call God as master? Is that right?
No, there is no God for you to answer. So that's why.
That I understand. That I understand.
Yeah.
In the main, why don't we refer God as God? Right? Why do we refer God as master?
We are referring God as God only. We are not referring God as master.
ఇప్పుడు మనకి many times master would say like the great master, the Lord himself అంటాం.
అవును.
Right? ఇప్పుడు who is that great master? Like when every time I hear people say master thought, like he's referring to the God himself as the Lord or the great master.
Correct.
Is that right?
No, that is the way of saying, right? See, whatever, even if I have to will that such and such a thing happen, ante if master has to will for such a thing to happen, the primary force, the essence behind this is God only. So without God there is no will to work. So that is why in our prayer we say God and power, thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. Why power and why God? So the power is the master, God is God. So but when we say master, we are kind of combining both principles, the power principle and the God principle. So when I have to say like really what is happening through God only, but I am only a via medium. So who is the real master there? The real master is the God, but we don't know what that God is. That's why we kind of combining the principle, the power and the God principle. You got the point there. So that's why
I think it's slowly dawning. Yeah, I think so.
That's why the master is never
a little bit more crystallized. But
Yeah.
I think I'm getting it. Yeah.
So the master is never the individual person. The individual person plus the principle.
The principle of God, you mean?
Yeah, correct.
So master, then I think in a way when we say master, even though you refer to the master as a God or a master, it's really more than God then, right? I mean not as a power more than God, but in terms of in principle, it is not just God, it is little more than the principle of God plus some other thing.
No,
See,
see, I'm kind of talking about the will plus the principle.
Will press the principle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
See, if I have to say prayer, I want to grow spiritually, I want to become like you. Okay.
Mm.
Who has to understand that? God doesn't understand that.
Mm.
Okay.
Why wouldn't God doesn't understand that?
Because
he
he
doesn't have that conscious.
he doesn't know what is spiritual growth means. For him, everything is the essence only, right? He doesn't have a differentiation. That which is omnipresent, omnipotent, sarvantaryami, cannot discriminate lower versus higher. The same godly principle in a dog, the same godly principle is in a pig, and same godly principle is in a human. So he cannot distinguish this is a dog, this is a pig, this is a human. That
These are all the
discrimination is
creations.
not there. So if the discrimination is not there, how does he know that this human wants a spiritual growth?
Mm.
He doesn't have that understanding what spiritual growth means.
Mm.
So you need a human mind associated with that principle.
Mm.
That is why so much importance to the living master, because of this human mind associated with that principle.
Let me give you the context. నేనేం కొడుతున్నానంటే, we generally take it for granted. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're practitioners, right?
Right.
When you come across somebody new, right? Especially when we're trying to introduce the concept of master, it becomes like, how do we actually explain? Of course, different people have different understanding. Oftentimes, even when master actually talks about this, he refers to in the prayer, "Oh Master," as like the God Himself, right? Like and but when people say like do I have to look for like Baji, or how do I know where he is at? Right, in the beginning stages, especially, right? Then actually, in fact, somebody asked me, can I just say like, "Oh God," in the prayer, right? So actually, that is where actually, of course, I told them, start with whatever is comfortable to you, but let it eventually come. Don't hang on to it, because the idea of the essence of the meaning is important. But I think eventually, interestingly, like people, they themselves learn and understand. Especially the sincere ones. And I think my context, where I'm coming from is like, generally, how do we present it to somebody that doesn't understand this concept of like, the master? Not necessarily to go and say, here is the master, you have to like pray to him. Actually, how else do we say? Or do we present?
Same thing, like how the masters have said, the real master is the God alone. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
Now, which God, which God you find out? That God which is omnipresent, which is everywhere, which is in everything and everyone. So that is we recognize the omnipresent, omnipotent God, not any individual.
Right. I think you gave I think you gave me the essence. Let me brood over it.
Yeah.
Probably it will become clear. The other thing, actually, I want to ask is, I think there are a few other things, but I think I don't remember. The other thing is, there are people like CM, right?
Telsu. Sriyam, whether it's the what do you call that autobiography of a yogi? What is his name? Yeah, Yogi Paramananda, Yogananda, and whether it's Isha Yoga Guru, Sadguru, and whether it is Art of Living Guru. All these, what they are teaching us is the offshoot of the Hatha Yoga systems.
Offshoot of?
Hatha Yoga systems. All their systems are some
is
way.
Hatha Yoga different than Hatha Yoga, or is it one and the same?
Hatha yoga, however you want to call it.
Okay, it's the same. Okay.
Same, yeah.
Uh,
So they are all the offshoots of Hatha Yoga systems where there is a more emphasis on keeping your body fit. And at the most they teach you some breathing exercises, pranic exercises, which refines your pranamaya kosha. See, Hatha Yoga can extend only up to the pranamaya kosha. It cannot go beyond. So our Annamaya kosha is the lowest, and the pranamaya kosha is the next level. So all these yogic systems can refine only up to the your pranamaya kosha. They cannot go beyond that. Whereas we are talking about even dissolving the Vijnanamaya kosha, and means all the 5 koshas. When all the 5 koshas are dissolved, what remains is only pure consciousness. That is what we are trying to attempt at as a part of heartfulness practices.
Did you read my mind?
Huh?
Right now?
No.
Did you read my mind?
Yeah.
No. Actually, you completed the question.
Yeah.
What I want to ask.
Yeah.
You completed the question of what I want to ask is like essentially you filled in the blanks.
Right.
Okay. So if you again, you explained it to me and I understand, right? You know, what I'm looking for is some tips about, let's say somebody is looking at Sriyan. They come and ask me, like, you know, what is it, like, you know, I see this, I see that it's so special, I even enter, right? You know, if they ask me, let's say, like, what is it, other than general basic, like, you know, what you know, Kokanda, what are the other ways actually I should be able to clearly explain to them in simple terms?
Right.
The difference on, you know, I think even the way you describe this dissolving of the 5 koshas is probably, that's very profound in a way, right? And without, we are not talking about any technique or practice or anything, but essentially we are saying the end goal is, or the end result would be this with one, and the end result would be dissolution up to, I don't know if it is dissolution,
right,
up to pranamaya kosha, right? But the question where I have is, you know, when you look at Sriyan's experiences and other things, this is me on the curiosity side, right? That he keeps sending him.
So your curiosity tarata నీ వాయిస్ లో పాజ్ ఉంది. So yeah, I know what you are talking about. I mean, Sri M keeps talking about it.
What is he trying to do? Meaning, you know, because when we look at our journey, we don't look at, when you look at Sri M's journey, you see, like, you know, he goes to some place, you know, there are different kind of characters that come in and try to help him. You know, for that guy, you know, for Sri M, they do all kinds of strange things, right? You know, so my question is, what is their journey? Like, you know, when they do that practice, they don't necessarily follow. I don't think, you know, you see, like, you know, the journey that as our masters described, right? You know, from 1 to 13, as you go through different granthis and all, right? You know, they don't talk about it. But what is their end state? You know, when the people that you talked about, say, for example, you know, CM or what is his name, Sri, right, or Sadguru or whoever, right? What do they say when they say, like, you know, the end purpose is?
Everyone talks about the same end purpose. See, but everyone talks about the same end purpose according to their perception of what that end purpose is. Okay. See, I mean, I am talking about God, you are talking about God, somebody else says God. Are we three saying the same word? I mean, perhaps the word, the pronunciation is the same. But what I mean by God, what you mean by God, and what somebody else mean by God are three different things. I mean, each one is saying God according to what I'm saying God according to my own perception, what that God is. So that's why even though we are talking the same language, but I have to see the whole thing, right? See, I can see the Himalayas from 1,000 miles away. You can see the Himalayas from 100 miles away. Somebody has seen the Himalayas from the top of the Himalaya, going to the mount. Which one has the better understanding of the Himalayas? Which one has
Probably
seen
the one that was there, right?
the one is
that is
physically
closer.
present on that, on the Mount
Yeah.
Everest. So it's all individual. I am talking about the same Himalayas 1,000 miles away. So from where I am seeing that makes the difference. Oh, we have to go to the Himalayas. You will say 1,000 miles away. I'll say it from 100 miles away, and somebody else standing on it and says it. So each one is talking about the same purpose from a different distance.
So meaning they haven't completed their other rest of the journeys, so they don't even know what that other journey remains, right?
Yeah, they don't know what comes. Yeah, they don't know up to 1,000 miles distance how the journey is like.
Good.
So whatever their experiences are, only up to that stage.
Good
That's why in
explanation.
Babuji very clearly talks about in towards infinity. Each one is at every stage, everyone is experiencing the same thing, but the perception is different. So up to that point, he is a Jnani. So everyone is a Jnani up to the point you are at right now. When I'm saying point, I'm not talking about Sahaj Mark points 1, 2, 3. Till that point, wherever you are a Jnani. So till that point, wherever they are the Jnanis.
Right.
So I mean, here there is no lower or higher. We are all talking about the same thing. From
So when I'm sure actually you must be coming across some different kinds of people, right?
Yes.
When people come and ask you, what is the difference? For me, why can't I go practice, say, some Isha or Sriyam? Why do I need to practice, say, like this and Ante? What do you tell them?
No, it is up to you what you are looking for in life, right? If you are only looking at some physically well-being at a chronic level well-being, you want to kind of live longer, a healthy life, that's what you should be practicing. But if you want to kind of attain this the final goal of life, and you want to kind of give a break to this transmigratory life, the true liberation, moksha, then you should be doing this. But at the same time, you can also keep your physically fit. You can probably take up both if you want, if you have time, right? But even a physically fit being, you don't know what life is presents to you ahead of you, how much time you have. So you have to make the best use of the time, right? Look at that guy, the Black Panther hero. I mean, at least physically
Chad Brunswick.
So physically is the most fit guy if you look at him. And in no time he was diagnosed with the cancer, is no more. So even physical fitness is a temporary thing, but you should keep yourself fit as long as you're alive. There's nothing wrong about it.
mm,
But at the same
mm,
time, you should look beyond life. If you're looking beyond life,
mm,
then there is something you have to do out of something more geared towards that. But it's an individual choice.
mm,
In fact, I asked this question to Charijit. So many systems, so many gurus, each one follows something, and each one
mm,
thinks they are in the best system.
mm,
Then how do you
mm,
know this is the best system I am in? Each one is have the same perception.
right.
Okay.
What did Master say?
So Chariji
Mm,
said each one according to their own desire adopt a system. If you have the spiritual inner craving, you will end up in heartfulness. Sahaj Marg. If you are looking for health, you go to the system which is giving health. If you want wealth, you go to a system which is giving you wealth, promising you wealth, not
mm,
giving you.
mm,
So each one will find the system according to their desire. Just because you say moksha is the highest goal, you should come to this system because for moksha, I don't think that will appeal to everybody. So
exactly.
that's why I say it's not about what you tell the other person. It is about what the other person is looking for. You can tell
Mm,
anything. You can even show them the moksha. You can even give them the final condition on the day one.
mm,
They'll just throw it away and they go back to whatever they desire. So that's why we as trainers, it's not about what we say. We are here to serve if you are willing to take up that service.
mm.
Ante.
Good, good. Thank you for the Gnanodaya.
No, there is
Good
no.
stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I mean,
Good
we
stuff.
become
Yeah.
too think that I have to say something to the other person so that they can adopt. It never happens like that.
No, and actually, no. Actually, we don't generally push that way. We don't say, right? Like, but at least even as an intellectual conversation wise, like when it
Right.
comes to, in fact, actually, we met some friends that we know for many years, right?
Yeah.
Somehow they went into a Sri retreat and to talk about it. All I could say is at least good stuff here, you are doing something.
Yeah.
Right. But there is another friend that asked do you know about Sri M? And generally I said yeah, I know about Sri M. You seem like a genuine guy and etc. Right?
Yeah.
And but when it comes to people, as they get into, then it gets into, even as friends, they would ask, what would be the difference? Or why is, even if they ask me, right, why would you not consider that, why are you doing this? Or,
No, I mean, see, all these guys are very genuine. I'll tell you. They don't have any selfish motive over there. Whether you take Sri, whether you take Isha Sadguru, whether you take anybody, and whether they are charging money or not, irrespective of that, everyone is very sincere. But see, I mean, like even a school teacher, a math teacher is also sincere in his teaching, but he can only teach you math, right? As long as that is your objective to learn math, you go to that teacher. But you don't go to a math teacher and expect him to teach you the psychological sciences or the other sciences. That's what happens with everybody. They have a wrong expectation of a guru, and it's nothing wrong with the guru is exactly teaching you what he knows, sincerely. It's our wrong expectation. Right? Even here you come, most of the time you come here for your self-healing. But self-healing is a byproduct. It happens, it may happen, may not happen. But what we are approaching is into a totally different dimension. Okay. Sometimes, some people think even the illnesses, they start at the subtle state and even go beyond the Brahmanda level, Brahmanda Mandal level, and they finally manifest at the physical level. But if I can recognize that illness at that level, you can actually clean them even before they manifest.
What is that you said?
They go, any illnesses at a very subtle level, they start at the causal level. If we can catch the impression at the causal level and clean it, you will never have that illness in your life.
Why would an illness go from a subtle level to
physical? It has to manifest. No, from subtle level only it has to manifest. Everything which happens in your life has to manifest at the subtle level. That's why the deeper cleanings help to avoid certain ailments. You cannot avoid everything, but a lot of things you can avoid. Something very stronger which has to manifest, they will manifest anyway, regardless. Even if you are a master, they'll manifest it for you. But about 80% of the stuff you can actually remove through the process of cleaning, which is actually happening already in our system. Right?
Okay.
But sometimes we willfully make some choices. Even the cleaning happens, you don't let it go. So it has to manifest. That's why the sincere prayer helps. When you do the prayer, even which you are strong about your own tendencies, they will get nullified. That's why it says, my wishes are putting bar to our advancement. So all these strong tendencies we wish for, which can be avoided with the sincere prayer. Upfront. Not after it manifests. After it manifests, you have to go through it. Anything which can be avoided before it manifests. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think I got it. Yeah. Got it. Good, Ra.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ra.
Babu. Yeah. Going to India next.